their home or their front.
I agree with you.
Well, let's go into what we have for you today. You're watching FCT Brief, and where the headlines come alive and conversations matter. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for tuning in. The internal storm within the PDP has taken a new and dramatic turn, triggering fresh tension across the opposition landscape. What began as a quiet power struggle has now escalated into open confrontation, with the Wike-led faction announcing the controversial sacking of some PDP governors, an unprecedented move that has rattled the party's foundation. As the crisis widens, questions about legitimacy, authority, and power structure have resurfaced with greater urgency. Who truly holds the mandate to make such sweeping decisions? And how did internal disagreement morph into a battle that now threatens the stability of the party ahead of crucial political timelines? For many Nigerians, this is no longer just about personalities. Rather, it's about the survival of a party struggling to reclaim relevance.
These internal fractures are also reshaping alliances, fueling distrust, and deepening the ideological divide within the PDP. At the heart of the conflict lies a contest for influence, control, and strategic direction, with each faction seeking to redefine the party's identity and political trajectory. As the tension spreads, the impact is spilling beyond the party into the national political environment. Now, this morning on FCT Brief, we will be examining how far-reaching this crisis could be, what options remain on the table, and whether dialogue is still possible amid the escalating power tussle. Can the PDP regain its footing, or is this the beginning of a long, destabilizing split that could reshape Nigeria's opposition politics? Joining us live is Umar Sani, former spokesman of the PDP Presidential Campaign Council. He will help us clarify the latest developments, the constitutional implications, and the potential outcomes of this deepening crisis within the PDP. Thanks again for coming on the program.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah, the first thing, were you at Wadata House Tuesday, yesterday?
I think that is not the breaking news. The breaking news is that I was one of the 17 people that was expelled by the Wike faction.
Oh, so we're talking to an expelled
you are talking to an expelled member of the Wike faction.
Now, let's look at it this way. How come the PDP continually degenerates into a battleground rather than preparing itself for a major election less than 2 years? Does that not worry you?
You see, the PDP has a history. And I have given that history several times and in every place. Now, we have a system where we usher in our national executives and state escorts. These are systems that are enshrined in our constitution. Every position must be contested for, and you must be elected. Even where there is a consensus, the consensus must go through a particular system. Votes must be cast before you are given a particular position. Now, from 1998, I've been in the PDP. I was the administrative secretary of PDP in Kaduna State. I was the first person to be nominated by the conveners in Kaduna State as the PDP administrative secretary. So I have interacted with within the PDP for a very long time, and I've never left the PDP. Now, I understand all the things. Solomon La was the only person whom the G34 members said, look, go and lead the party for 1 year. Let there be elections, then you give way before the constitution begins to take place. Since the constitution took place, the period of Gemadi, the period of Audu Ogbe, the period of Amadou Ali, the period of Vincent Ogbulafo, the period of Okwesilize Nwodo, the period of even the acting chairman of Dr. Bello Haliru and this man from Kwara. All these periods, these people are selected by the president. The president selects them. Bamanga Tukur, Adamu Mazu, they were all selected by the president. This is the prerogative the president has to put the party chairman that he believes will help walk the party to success. Now, after Adamu Mazu left, there was a vacuum. Uche Secondos was acting. Because when we lost the election, Adamu Azu resigned. When he resigned, the election, the position was taken over in an acting capacity by Uche Secondos. Now, the late, forgetting his name, but that was killed when he went to Imo State, you know, took the matter to court to say it is the turn of the Northwest to complete that tenure, Northeast, because that position was for the Northeast. And at Gulak, he took the matter to court, and the court said yes, that it is it is Northeast that should complete the tenure. That position was filled in by Wike and Fayoshe. They brought in Alimodu Sharif because he came to lie to them that he will provide private jet, he will provide all the necessary things. But when he came in, the whole story changed. There was no such thing. And so it was difficult again to remove him, which resulted into all these court actions. Now, a caretaker committee is not a function of our constitution. Our constitution does not agree with a caretaker committee. We don't have it in our constitution. But at that time, it was a doctrine of necessity. We had to do a caretaker committee because we cannot leave it like that, where this side is saying it is legitimate, this side is saying it's illegitimate. Alimodu Sharif will go to court. He won at the appeal court. We had to go to the Supreme Court. So within that period, we needed somebody to stabilize the party. That's why it was generally agreed that McAfee should come in. Okay. It is an illegal thing, but it was something that was necessary at that time. Now, I've not concluded, just a minute for me to round up. Now, after that period, it was the same Wike who was instrumental to put in Secondos as national chairman. It was the same Wike who was instrumental in putting Ayu. He has said it severally on national television that Ayu called him and was thanking him for putting him there, blah, blah. Now, the governor said, no, you have done your own. Allow us also to do our own. You are no longer a governor. You are a minister. We are governors. Let us now be the ones to put the chairman. So what is the problem with that? He still wants to control the party. And that is where there was a breakdown of disagreements between them and him.
All right, it's a good one that you took us down this memory lane and like you admitted the breakdown, because it's quite a spectacle to say the least. And I would say we heard some of your members calling on foreign help to come and resolve the issue in your party. We saw some of them calling on President Trump to come and resolve the issue in PDP. My concern is that has things degenerated to that level where the PDP cannot resolve its own crisis, that you're now calling for foreign help? You see, the issue is not within the PDP. The issue is outside the PDP. It is the voice of Jacob and the hand of Esau. Nyesom Wike is not acting independently. If he's acting independently, we would have dealt with him a long time ago. But there is a greater force that is working with him. And who is this greater force? Well, I don't want to mention names now. Well, you're alleging. You have to tell us. Yes, when I'm alleging, I don't want to say who I'm alleging, but there is a greater force. Let us leave it at that. Now, that greater force that has said at the National Assembly that he is particularly pleased that we are in disarray. So I will take it that you are referring to the president. Perhaps if you add that name, it is not misplaced. But he has already said he is pleased that we are in disarray. And he has given Wike the weapon to ensure that we are in disarray. He is the only minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria who is not in the TSA policy. He is the only minister who is not the Minister of Information, who addresses the press every week. The Minister of Information is supposed to be the one addressing the press every week, telling the Nigerian people what is happening within and around the government. But another person is doing that. And in that press briefing, he is not only addressing achievements of the FCT,
He is using it as a political weapon to intimidate, harass, and abuse political opponents.
Now, assuming without agreeing with what you have said, that there are external forces trying to destabilize your party.
Yes.
Now, if you knew that, why is it that you did not, your party or your faction is not seeking... we
are not a faction.
But Wike has suspended you and some others. So.
Well, that suspension, from all intents and purposes, is null and void. It has no even any force of law and force of authority. It is just a suspension merely for the optics.
Now, my question is, why are you playing the ball with him? If you knew that there are external forces, why don't you approach the path of genuine reconciliation, carrying everybody along, so that you don't give room to that external force you talked about? Well,
we have tried several avenues to have reconciliation with him. We have there was the Saraki committee, which the enlarged stakeholders meeting selected Saraki to be the chairman of the reconciliation committee. Saraki tried his best. He could not achieve anything. There was no reconciliation. And Saraki is even more closer to Wike, and that is the reason why he was selected, because we believe he could midwife something reasonable, but he couldn't achieve anything. At the end of the day, we had to now use Ambassador Hassan Adamu, the Wakil in Adamawa, who was given the opportunity. When he approached Wike, the condition he gave, which is very clear, is that the only condition for peace is that we must agree that we are not going to field a presidential candidate in 2027. Otherwise, it is a fight to finish. Now, so how do we now reconcile?
Well, I'd like you to hold that thought, because we need to take this quick commercial break now. Don't go anywhere. We still have more. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. Now we'll go back straight into our conversation. Yesterday, we saw police firing tear gas at PDP members. Now, a lot of question on everyone's lips is, who gave the invitation to the policemen? Was it the PDP leadership, or was it by external forces, controlled that had the upper hand? Who gave the invitation to the police to, disrupt Wadata House yesterday?
You see, the police had always been at Wadata House since the last incident. They had sealed the place. Now, we have made an overture. I have a letter where we wrote to the Inspector General of Police, and we held a meeting with him, and the Inspector General of Police promised to open the Secretariat for Damagum-led NWC to continue work. But no such thing happened. So yesterday, day before yesterday, we just saw a notice that Anyanwu Group are holding a meeting. Now, within the constitutional provisions of the PDP, the only person who can summon a meeting is the national chairman. The national secretary has no power to summon any meeting. He can only be directed to issue notices of meeting, but he cannot summon a meeting. Where the chairman fails to summon a meeting, 2/3 of the members of that meeting will now sign a document insisting that a meeting should take place. If the NWC wants to hold a meeting, there are 21 members. If the chairman refuses to call a meeting for NWC, 2/3 of the members signing and agreeing that there will be a meeting, that meeting stands. 2/3 of members of NEC, if they sign and say we are holding a meeting, it stands. But secretary has no power to call for any meeting. So for a secretary to call for a meeting, he was only calling for chaos. And so we had to, the national chairman had to now make wider consultations within the party. And it was agreed that there should be a stakeholders meeting where those type of issues should be discussed. And it was scheduled for 10 o'clock. Their meeting was for 11 o'clock. Ours was for 10 o'clock. No. So we don't know who invited the police.
No,
the police were there.
For what you have said, you already got a notice that Wike and his team were coming.
We didn't get a
meeting.
notice. It was
announced.
It was announced.
Way
Yes.
you were aware that
if
was coming for.
If you say we got a notice,
okay, it was announced, yes. And you heard that he was going to have a meeting with his people at 11.
Yes.
And I also remember that the national chairman, Tanimo, yes. also approached the police before that time,
yes.
saying that he was going to come in. Now, do you have to fix a meeting on the same day when this meeting was going to hold? Does that not question the legitimacy of your national chairman and his NWC that emerged at your convention? Do you have to struggle to assert your leadership?
Now, that is not the position okay. you should have taken.
Okay.
Now, how could illegal people invade our secretariat? That is the question you should have been asking. Because this, with what authority is Anyanwu calling for a meeting? This is what I just finished talking. Why should he even call for a meeting in the secretariat in the first place? 3 people cannot form himself, Ajibade, Umar Bature, and who again? There are about four. Abdurrahman, 4. 4 of them cannot override 15 people and call for a meeting. They cannot form NWC. So why should they call for a meeting? They were calling for a meeting because they want to create problem. Otherwise, they have no business calling for any meeting in that secretariat. They have assembled NEC. Up to now, we don't know who are the NEC members. They have not even announced the name of the NEC members because they know that those members are illegitimate. They are not supposed to be NEC members. They are just assembling people just to create problem. Again, they went to form BOT. Now, you can't form BOT. BOT has a constitutional provision how it is being set up. You set up a BOT and put Mao Ohabunwa as the chairman, who has never been a member of BOT in his life. Yet he is the chairman of BOT. So how do you reconcile that? These are assemblage merely to cause confusion and to cause problem. And then we have to take back our secretariat. We can't allow impostors to come into our secretariat, to come and hold meetings that are illegitimate.
All right, Mr. Sani. Now that 2027 is just around the corner,
yes.
and public trust seems to have derailed so much in the PDP, what exactly is the party's message to undecided voters who now view the PDP as fragmented, noisy, and incapable of managing its own internal dispute? And again, you admitted to external forces influencing what is happening within the PDP. Shouldn't the party be alarmed that its internal disputes have now become vulnerable to manipulation by external forces?
First, I will say that this assessment you made are your personal opinion,
okay, because
they do not reflect the true situation on ground.
Well, we see a lot of people exiting the party on a daily basis. What other validation should I be seeking?
Okay, exiting the party has its own implications. Now, a news medium had made an allegation which is yet to be countered by anybody. There was no rebuttal, there was no clarification, there was no denial. They said every governor that is moving from PDP to the APC is given 250 billion. Nobody said it's a lie. Nobody. They said every senator that is moving from PDP to APC, he gets 1 billion. Nobody has questioned that. Nobody has said it's a lie. Nobody has clarified. Again, they said any House of Reps member moving from PDP to APC, he gets 500 million. Now, this has become a notorious fact. And as a notorious fact, we take it that it is true that these things are happening, because nobody has come to the APC has not come to say it's a lie. The presidency has not come to say it's a lie. Nobody has come out to say it's a lie.
Did any of these defectors confirm this to you? And were you ever approached by the APC, to be induced by monetary influence?
No, that is not the issue.
No, that's the issue.
No,
that's what we're discussing.
That is not the issue. The issue is not about me or whether I have been approached, because they know I cannot be approached. I am not a money monger. I am a principled person who stands by the PDP. I have been a member of PDP since 1998. I have never wavered. I have never shaken. I have never gone anywhere. And I don't go to a place where people, just because of money, I will compromise my integrity. No, I don't. I stay in where I believe that the party is right, and that is where we should be, what we should be pursuing. And for you to tell me whether those people have confirmed to me, how many people will be giving money and they will come and confirm to you?
Now, Mr. Sani, can I just ask this? You seem to have believed that news medium. Did you also ask them to substantiate, just like my colleague just said, to give the proof? Because allegations can be made by anybody.
Well,
so you just believe it while the allegation without asking them to prove the allegations they are making?
The reason why you are calling me here,
yeah,
is for me to substantiate certain things.
So you want to substantiate this
No,
for us?
hold on, please. Don't be in a hurry. Now, why you are calling me is because there are so many gray areas.
Exactly.
Some people have been saying several things, which you have heard. You want to, if I put up a message now, and after leaving here, and to say that you people were biased, will you keep quiet?
If I'm not biased,
you will come out and say,
I will say anything.
You will say you are not biased.
Why will I have to defend something
No,
that is not there?
you can defend yourself and say you are not biased. I'm merely saying you are not biased. It's sufficient.
Now, do you believe in the authority of the police?
Well, the police, do we have anything?
I want to ask you a question. Do you believe in
we
the
don't have
authority
any
of the
alternative.
police? Okay. Now,
the Nigerian police is the only
ordinarily, when you have some people that are not qualified according to you wanting to take over your national secretariat, you have to call them the police to ensure that they do not. Now, the public spectacle that happened yesterday, I'm asking, wasn't it avoidable if there's an invitation extended to the police that police, you seal up this place, do not allow any other person to come in? The world will know that you have asked the police to do their responsibility.
No, do we have to ask the police to do their responsibility? Do we have to request the police? The Nigerian police should be able to do their responsibility without anybody asking them to do it. If a policeman sees an armed robber on the road performing armed robbery, do we have to say, please, Mr. Policeman, you have to go and arrest that armed robber? The policeman should go ahead and arrest the armed robber because he's physically doing it. We don't have to invite them. They should even have intelligence to be able to know what is going to happen.
All right, Mr. Sani. One of the most consequential cases in court is Sule Lamido challenge over the refusal to sell his nomination forms for chairman.
Yeah.
Could this litigation become a major stumbling block for the PDP's future?
No, because we have already examined it and it has no merit. Okay. All this drama at the lower courts, Justice Umar giving order, Justice Peter Lifu giving order, Justice A.L. Akintola giving order, they are just mere drama. They are theatrics. Because the Supreme Court had already decided on this matter. This matter is already concluded. The Supreme Court said that how a political party chooses its own ESCO that will steer its own affairs internally is their own internal affairs and is not justiciable. Now, these are steps intended to stop our convention. And we were also following it. When Justice Omotosho issued his order, we appealed against the order and applied for stay of execution of that order. When Justice Peter Lifu issued his order, we appealed immediately against that order.
To the appeal court?
Yes, to the appeal court. We appealed against that order and applied for stay of execution. Once you apply for a stay of execution, it is temporarily stayed. That order will not be enforced. Okay. And they did not apply for stay of execution of the order of Justice A.L. Akintola of the Ibadan High Court. So we had to go ahead.
But help us understand. In law, they say stay of execution does not automatically means until the matter itself is heard. That you have applied for a stay of execution does not automatically means that that case should be stayed.
No, it is not. It means that action, to which that judge had already given, should be stayed until the matter is determined.
All right.
That is what it means.
So, Mr. Umar, I'm a bit curious, and so are many Nigerians. We're asking, is the PDP's constitution, does it still have meaning, or is just a weapon in the hands of whichever faction has more lawyers, can wield more power, and make more noise?
No, the PDP constitution is sacrosanct. It is a document that we obey, completely. But the point is, there has to be disagreements. And in those disagreements, some people will approach the courts. Even when they know they don't have the powers to go to court, that the court has already decided on the matter, but they will still approach the court. This is Nigeria for you. I have always advocated that there should be a private counsel that should be set up to look at cases that are being filed in court. If a decision has already been taken, that thing should be yanked off from being even heard by any judge. But there is no central system of coordination of court cases. Somebody can go to Jigawa and file a court case. You don't know, because you do not have one registry that will now automatically take up all these cases and then examine them. But there is a need for cases to be examined, not people to just go to court anyhow because they feel that they had to go to court. That is what is delaying our justice system.
And if you have 60 seconds to tell PDP members why the Tanimu faction is the authentic, what would you say to them?
No, it is not a faction, because we don't have faction. The Electoral Act has made it clear that a faction only exists where a court recognizes a faction. There is not one single one that was recognized as a faction by any court of law. So there is no faction in PDP. The Tanimu Turaki-led NWC has followed the due process as laid out in our constitution towards the National Convention. And the National Convention is the highest ruling body of our party. They have made their decisions, and those decisions are binding and are final.
All right, Mr. Umar, in 30 seconds. Now, with everything that has unfolded within the Wadata Plaza yesterday, is there any room for reconciliation going forward?
Well, the PDP is always open for reconciliation. The PDP, like I've always said, has an internal working mechanism that we always... But if you begin to give us on impossible conditions, that is where the problem lies. You can't tell us, for instance, that we cannot field a candidate in 2027 presidential election, and then we will now say, okay, we are reconciling with you. On what basis? Is it on the basis of that we agreed or we can't field a candidate, or what? But if the conditions are reasonable and they are acceptable, then of course reconciliation is very possible, because we want more members. We are not it's a political party. We are not chasing away our members.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Umar Sani. It's a pleasure speaking with you, and we definitely look forward to, a reconciliation within the PDP. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, viewers, for staying tuned. Now we'll hand you over to Lagos, where Ria and the rest of the team are standing by to continue with the rest of the show.